Story, story, story. Gather round and hear my story. As tiny could be, I hold something precious in my hand. I open my fingers and my thumb. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see it? Tiny as tiny can be. Small and brown and round. And oh, so dead looking. What do you think it could be? It's a seed, of course. A tiny, tiny seed. It's a mustard seed. And hidden away in this tiny seed is a glimpse of God's wonderful kingdom. Let me share the story. Story, story, story. A person once had a mustard seed, just one. It wasn't enough to put on a sandwich to give it some extra seasoning. Wasn't enough to start a farm and go into business selling mustard plants. It wasn't big enough to put in a bird feeder to feed a hungry sparrow or a finch. It just sat there on the table, doing nothing. The person picked up the seed between their fingers, rolled it around thoughtfully for a moment or two, and then went outside. They found a piece of earth, pulled out the weeds and loosened the soil. In fact, not too damp, not too dry, not too sunny and not too shaded. Deep into the soil, they planted the seed. They tenderly patted the soil around it, gave it a drink of water to get it going, and then waited. First, a tiny glimpse of green among the dark, dull grains of earth. And then a tiny green shoot appeared. The life that had been stored inside the seed was bursting out and growing and growing and growing. First a shoot and then a plant. First a plant and then a shrub. First a shrub and then a tree. And still it grew and grew and grew. No longer locked in a tiny seed, the mustard tree grew until it was so big that it provided shelter for all the birds of the air to build their nests. This story is a parable, a picture story, of course. I wonder what it tells us about God's kingdom.